crowd here welcoming the Leicester side onto the field, led by their captain, Peter Wheeler. And Moseley takes the field, led out by international Martin Cooper, a team unchanged from the semi-final, with Malcolm Swain, the only survivor of the losing first ever club competition final when Moseley played and lost back in 1972. He's part of a talented back division today that includes both internationals, Martin Cooper at fly half and centre Barry Corliss. A workmanlike pack that's well drilled and probably Moseley's greatest strength. They look to have the edge in the second row with Aaron Field, both line-out experts. They've height too in the back row and expertise up front. And what a fascinating comparison we're going to have at half-back. Moseley with Chris Gifford alongside Martin Cooper there. And there's his opponent today in Les Cusworth. Leicester, of course, as always in letters, also unchanged from their semi-final, which means they have 5 internationals on duty, 3 in the pack, 2 in the backs. Peter Wheeler has fellow England prop Robin Cowling alongside him, and Gary Adey at number 8. Paul Dodge and Dusty Hare, the 2 internationals in the backs. And in addition, 3 under-23 caps in flankers Ian Smith, prop Steve Redfern, and scrum half Steve Kenny. Kenny and Cusworth out to prove today that they're as good as any half-back pair in the country. And the referee is Alan Wellesby, who, interestingly enough, refereed the first ever match in the Rugby Football Union Club knockout competition back in '71. And it's Moseley making the first error of the game in their kick-off through Martin Cooper, out on the full. Moseley in the numbers and in the black and red hoops. So a real contrast in strips, white shorts for Leicester, letters for Leicester. So the first scrummage, always an important event this. Steve Kenny with the feed. Clean heel, Cusworth. Aikenhead back there. There's Richard Aikenhead, 30-year-old, leading point scorer 2 seasons ago for Moseley. So the line-outs where Moseley hoped to dominate through Russell Field and Barriere. Short to the front from Peter Wheeler, though. Kenny slips it inside to his pack. Gary Adey there. Scrum is just outside the Moseley 22. Chris Gifford off to the Far East with England at the end of this season. And close rival Steve Kenny alongside him. Leicester wheeling it, making a mess of the Moseley put-in. And they're in possession. Work back to Kenny. Cusworth, dodge, off his left foot, over the head of Aikenhead. Bouncing on the Moseley goal line. It's a difficult one for Aikenhead, and he's caught behind his own goal line. And is forced to give away the 5-metre scrummage. Great following up there from Tim Barnwell and Terry Burwell for Leicester. Put Aikenhead under real pressure, and Leicester have the put-in. Kenny looks like the dummy scissors. Caught by Cooper, though. Barry Corliss leading the surge downfield by Moseley. Peter Wheeler. And really setting off at a ferocious pace this match. So scrummage midfield on the Moseley 22. Kenny to feed. And not in straight. International referee Alan Wellesby of the Manchester and Lancashire societies gives the free kick to Moseley, and it's their captain Martin Cooper. He's lifted it high, given it the length though and the direction. That's a good clearance. Leicester cut their line out to 2, so this is an interesting variation on tactic with Gary Adey at scrum half, moving out to take it at the back. On from Ian Smith. Steve Johnson looks for Cosworth. Cooper's on him. Cooper gathers it. Chips past the defence. Racing back is Burwell. Terry Burwell there, saving the day. Well, almost a breakaway score this for Moseley. You see the loose pass back there to Cosworth. Strong play by Martin Cooper. And this was a neat little chip, which almost put him clear. But Burwell had covered across from the centre to save the day. Long restart kick goes straight to Aikenhead. Alan Thomas showed it. Good run. Just lost possession in touch. Alan Thomas, born and bred in Llanelli, played originally for Aberavon before joining Moseley. Peter Wheeler looking for revenge and the disappointment of defeat last year at the hands of Gloucester in the final. Tail there is Ian Smith for Leicester. Service for Cosworth. Aikenhead back in his 22. Puts it away off the left boot well. Originally a Cheltenham club player before coming up to Moseley. Trying to use it long. Deflection down from Derek Nutt. Cooper bundled down then. Referee though was looking for advantage from the Leicester knock-on. So Moseley will get the put in at the scrummage. And a free kick against Moseley for the crooked feed into the scrummage, which gives Dusty Hare surely a chance of dropping a goal from about 30 metres out. Takes the tap, sizes it up, strikes it beautifully. What a kick. So the man who has scored 61 points up till today in this year's Leicester Cup run out of a total of 124, that's almost half the points for his club, puts Leicester ahead after just 7 minutes of this final. Cooper restarts. Angles it for the corner. It goes just a metre or two over the goal line. Cosworth touches it down. Hare with the dropout. Barrier goes in to take it, set it up. Supported by Russell Field. Gifford in trouble there from the flanker Steve Johnson. Scrummage about 8 metres outside the Leicester 22. Kenny finds Cosworth. Cosworth almost leaving that one nonchalantly late as Cooper came through. Doesn't make touch. Aikenhead has it. Eludes Newton. Inside to Nick Jevons. That's Barry Corliss. Turns, feeds Barrier. Cooper. Swain. Goes for the break. The good tackle was by Paul Dodge. Cosworth retrieves it. On from Terry Burwell. And both sides moving this ball. Moseley again. Aikenhead chips through. Thomas chases. Kenny back covering. So 10 metres out that line out. 4 is Russell Field, 5 is Barriere with the headband for Moseley. But it's over the top of them all. Smith acts as scrum half to Cosworth. Plenty of men outside, but that time decided to play safe. Les Cosworth, one of the B internationals on this side, who were in Romania. Steve Redfern there at the front. And it's Russell Field winning it for Moseley. Wheeler was through on Gifford fast. And off go Leicester again through Gary Adey. Sleeves rolled up as ever to Ian Smith, the flanker. Smith with support from Johnson. Steve Johnson, can he reach his back through outside him? Well, I think they must have been called back for a pass forward then, which must have been very close, but referee Wellesby was right alongside. Gifford gets away from Kenny. Oh, nicely played. Round Newton he goes. The support a bit slow getting there. Laird is outside. That's him now. Laird hands off the tackle, goes for the corner. He looks to have the speed. Yes, he's done it. Look at the delight on his face for the young Scotsman with the English accent. It came from really Gifford's superb break at that scrum. Look at the way he beat Newton on the outside, having eluded Kenny. He looked for support, and there, racing up on the left wing, is Bob Laird. Beats the tackle off of Steve Kenny with a lovely handoff. Cosworth chases in vain. What a lovely try in the 15th minute of this match by this man, Bob Laird. So Moseley into the lead. Crowd still buzzing with excitement after that spectacular opening try of this match. 4 points to 3 then, Moseley ahead, and Aikenhead, who's already kicked 23 points in this cup run, puts it over from the touchline. Well, the rugby in these first 15 minutes has been tremendous spectacle for the excited crowd here, and the try and conversion that we've just seen were absolutely superb. So the great rivalries of these two Midland clubs continues now, and so far this game worthy of being called a cup final. Just short of the Moseley 10-metre line. Referee looking for advantage for a knock-on, gives the scrummage to Leicester. Well, Leicester perhaps may be reminding themselves at this time that in the semi-final they were losing to Wasps before they came back to win by a very handsome margin. But now they're racing back through Dusty Hare to cover the kick through in his own 22. So that's out on the Leicester 22. Down from Barriere to Chris Gifford. Referee not happy with that throw-in being straight enough. Steve Kenny there, England under-23 representative. Former Coventry player Chris Gifford of 5 years with this put-in for his club Moseley. Gifford, Cooper, Swain. Swain goes for the outside break. There's a possible overlap on now, and the other wing is going to score. The tackle in the corner is good, just held short. Moseley tried to follow through as Thomas went over, but the referee deciding that that ball was eventually placed over the line after the move had been stopped, and Barry Corliss gets the penalty against him, but that was so close to another try by the right wing now. Here it comes again. Cooper then with that nice scissors move, and you see there the strength of Swain. Setting up the overlap for Alan Thomas. He looked to get there, but Barnwell just managed to hold his man up. The ball goes loose. There's the pick-up by Corliss. He's stopped, and you see how he twists and turns to get it over the line, and in fact gives away the penalty. So Leicester putting the ball from the penalty safely away to the 10-metre line. Tapped down though by Russell Field. Cooper, Corliss, Bob Laird, Dusty Hare's tackled, support from Swain, and Leicester looking in all sorts of trouble. So this was that exciting move again. There's Cooper, the mismove in the centre, and there you see the fullback coming up outside. Now that's where Aikenhead got the knock. Laird waited for the bounce and set off towards the corner once again, going for a second try. The cover there was good, but looping round was Malcolm Swain, inside looking for John Beale, and eventually Leicester managed to put it away. So this Moseley pack beginning to dominate affairs up front, and no more so than in this department. The line-out, as we suggested earlier, Russell Field, Barry Eyre at the tail. Nick Joyce trying to get it, but it's back to Cooper, hits it high for the drop goal. It's all going right for Moseley now. Martin Cooper then, with that ball won from the line-out, puts Moseley 6 points clear with 20 minutes played from the line-out. It looked as though Joyce had won that one at the tail, but he didn't control it, and the ball is loose. It's Barry Eyre acting as scrum half. Cooper sized it up in a flash and put it through the middle and high. John Beale at the tail there for Moseley. 8 is Derek Nutt. Plenty of height all round in that line-out, and Moseley certainly getting the better of the possession from it. His ball run into touch by Kenny. It's Barry Eyre, number 5, Russell Field, number 4. It's Eyre again doing the good work. Cooper, Swain. That's Aikenhead outside his winger this time. And it looks to me as if Barry Corliss has pulled a hamstring, but in the meantime, Leicester break away through Ian Smith, supported by Robin Cowling. And Corliss is way back, and that looks like hamstring trouble, all the signs of it. And sad it is too for Barry Corliss. Perhaps this might have been the occasion to climax a very successful career for Moseley and for England in recent years. And there goes Andy Watson-Jones as replacement for Barry Corliss. Quite a blustery day out there. Cool, good ground conditions as well. And again, Moseley getting good ball. That was Cooper with change of idea then that fooled Leicester for the moment. Gifford's high ball. Up comes Dusty Hare, supported by Barnwell, but through is Alan Thomas. Barnwell, though, has it. Strong, former Coventry winger. Barnwell deciding, I think, that it was time he had to go himself. So this is this nice little show of the ball by Cooper, almost getting his way through the Leicester defence there. Good high ball from Chris Gifford, and this is where he follows up the ball that Barnwell and Dusty Hare contest, and Barnwell sets off across field. From the restart, Leicester on the attack again, but losing the ball in the maul. Floated across to Swain. Watson-Jones to Bob Laird. We've seen his speed already. tries to go outside Dusty Hare, almost did so, but gets into touch. Well, he's looked a real threat down this left flank, Bob Laird. Staffordshire County player, former representative for Hertfordshire at under-16 and under-19 levels. Derek Nutt alongside Gary Adey. One from the tail of the line. Beale and Ian Smith right at the back. Barriere, lovely deflection down to Gifford, picked up well by Cooper. Referee deciding that wasn't straight. Snapped up by Gifford, but not in first time. Wiry, stocky scrum half, Chris Gifford. Kenny, his opposite number then. Dusty Hare makes room, but fluffs the kick. Aikenhead with room. Applies with the Gary Owen up to the 22. Hare underneath it. Kenny to Cosworth. And the errors creeping into this Leicester side more and more. Cooper caught by Newton, but supported by Jevons. This tall young flanker. Gifford hesitated a little, passes to Watson-Jones. He's caught by Cosworth and Ian Smith too. And Leicester now have a chance. Burwell with support from Dodge outside. Out to Barnwell on the left. Back inside to Dusty Hare. Hare into the Moseley 22. And the Tigers looking for it now, but held up by the Moseley defence. And the referee, in fact, has called Ian Smith to one side for the use of a boot indicated there. I want no more of that, says referee Wellesby, and gives the penalty immediately to Moseley. Well, I wonder if we'll see it at the end of this exciting attack by Leicester. There's good support play by Dodge on the outside, looping round Burwell, showing it, trying to set up Barnwell for the run, flicks it inside to Dusty Hare. And this is where the loose boot must have come in. The ball buried there with the players, but Smith is somewhere also buried with it. Cooper trying to fool the Leicester defence as Dusty Hare raced back after taking a knock. And Newton trying to keep that ball in play, puts a foot out. We've now played almost 3 minutes of injury time. Moseley 6 points clear. Arthur Hazelrig there, 2 in the line. Down though from Derek Nutt. Gifford not getting that one high enough as he wanted and slipped. Hare puts it out. Dusty Hare, who recently became a father for the second time, had his first son, Christopher William, and he's delighted about that, but I'm sure worried about the proceedings here and now, trailing as Leicester do by 6 points. From Hare again, tremendous line-up ball he's giving to Gifford. Gifford from the high ball. McNewton then. Well, the main thing was to get it out of play, which he did. It's McNewton, 22-year-old. With the final kick of this first half, which sees Moseley certainly with the lion's share of possession, perhaps slightly worried that they've not more points on the board than the 9 points, which sees them 6 points clear at half-time. But so far, dominating proceedings up front with excellent line-out ball, in particular from Barriere and Russell Field, going well up front, and Leicester clearly have immediate and obvious problems in the forward battle. So Leicester then prepare to start this second half through Dusty Hare. In fact, switch move brings the kick from Paul Dodge. Cooper just checking that there's Packer onside for the restart dropout. Again, this obvious problem in the line-out for Leicester being exposed, with Moseley getting first touch of that ball and winning it back to Gifford. Cooper. Barnwell covering back, supported by Dusty Hare. Outside is 22. That came off a Moseley hand, so the Leicester players are onside, despite what the crowd may feel. Cooper. Gifford. Gifford, who was England's scrum half replacement against New Zealand this season, now getting his opportunity on the close season tour at the base of that line-out for Moseley. There it is again. Astley ties it in from the tap down. Moseley keeping control of it, wheeling the whole scrummage round. Back it comes. Gifford has a go himself. Well, it doesn't come off, but it certainly makes the opposition flankers think twice next time that Gifford has the ball. Will he pass it? Will he have a go himself? So it has a positive effect. And even more besides, with a penalty to follow. With Wheeler, I think, guilty there of maybe handling that ball on the ground in the ruck. Certainly an offence indicated by him. Well, the last time that these two sides met in the John Player Cup, Aikenhead had a field day with a try, a penalty and a conversion. He's already got the conversion today. This penalty would certainly give Moseley something to sit back on more comfortably. Aikenhead then. Struck it well, looks good. It's over. Just what Moseley needed to give them a nice buffer. 12 points to 3 and 3.5 minutes now played of this second half. Leicester have a long hill to climb now. Dodge again, trying to force the dropout. It actually went over the crossbar, so it wasn't a bad effort. Cooper touches down. Kenny. Cowling. Caught. Kenny again. Tries to set something up for Newton. Moseley covers there. And Leicester committing the errors now through offside, giving away another penalty just inside the Moseley half, and Cooper will try and pin Leicester further back towards their own goal line. Instructions from the two half-backs there, Gifford and Cooper, just 7 metres inside the Leicester half. Moseley to throw. Gary Cox, their hooker. Certainly seemed to have no trouble in the scrummage set piece either, but taking a little while to get his target right for the throw-in. And a penalty for coming across offside in the line-out given against Moseley. And Wheeler deciding to run this one when perhaps Dusty Hare might have had a go at goal. Kenny, though, on to AD. And Leicester need a score now to bring them back in this match desperately. And the crowd, their 10,000 supporters here getting behind them, trying to lift their effort. Moseley number 8, Derek Nutt's receiving attention in a game which really has had total commitment and a lot of bruising encounters, but clean ones. Bit of shoulder trouble there. And of course, Derek Nutt has had shoulder trouble of late, and indeed spent a week's recuperation in Spain to try and get over a previous injury, and it doesn't look good at all from the way he's reacting. He'd had a lot of treatment from what they call a magic black box that Moseley have, but he does look to be in real trouble now, but still playing on, packing down at number 8 in this scrummage, just outside the Moseley 22, and of course his presence crucial, but Leicester get the heel anyway. Cusworth, Dodge trying to float it through, Burwell chases, back goes Cooper, Cooper losing it behind his own goal line. Aikenhead's there to put it away. But I think we will see the retirement from the game of Derek Nutt. And clearly his fight to stay fit in the last 10 days or so has only paid off up till 10 minutes into this second half, and you can see he's in real pain. Derek Nutt, part of a new Moseley back row this season that has done so well, and this man a key part of the forward effort and receiving generous applause with that recurring damaged shoulder trouble, seeing him retiring from the field. The restart, the drive by Leicester at the line-out. They get it back from Cowling to Kenny. Cosworth to Burwell. Hare in the line. Hare almost clear, supported by Johnson. Johnson 4 metres out. The Leicester players losing it at the last. It's Gifford that breaks away with it, but he's again in trouble. And Moseley defending their own line stoutly. Kenny goes for the corner, looks for the loose pass inside to find someone in support, but a Moseley player grabs it. And it's Russell Field, rather John Veal that was back there. But the pressure on now. Testing moments these for Moseley without their number 8. So they're packed up to 7. This crucial scrummage now just 4 metres out. Kenny has it to Cusworth. Dodge to Burwell. Burwell tackled by Aikenhead. Dodge again, trying to force his way through the Moseley defence. Penalty given against Leicester for, I think, attempting to play the ball after the tackle, as Steve King comes on to replace Derek Nutt, number 18 there. Steve King, former player a few years ago in the Wales squad. From the kick, Dusty Hare attempts the drop at goal. Will it straighten up? Just curling left. Dusty Hare going for a second drop goal, one successful already. But the scoreline stays the same. 12 points to 3. Moseley have a 9-point lead. Cooper lifts it high, tries to give his pack time to get there. Derrieda's pass not gathered cleanly by Kenny. And certainly the Leicester halfbacks not enjoying the clean service they were getting in the semi-final. Cusworth now, though, to Dusty Hare. Lifts it. Barnwell racing hard. Is well taken by Aikenhead. At the front, Wheeler throws, trying to get one down from Gary Adey that time, but Moseley seem to have all the aces in the pack when it comes to the liner. And that's obstruction by Moseley. Lying right over the ball, so a penalty to Leicester. And that certainly wasn't released there by Russell Field. So I think Peter Wheeler has decided that trailing by 9 points, they need 3 now to at least give them a chance to get the try and conversion to level it. So can Dusty Hare put this one over from about 30 metres? The answer's obvious. So that keeps Leicester in the hunt. The boot of Dusty Hare, which has been instrumental in keeping Leicester in the hunt in the whole of the last 2 seasons' cup runs. 12 points to 6, and we're exactly midway through this second half. What a last 20 minutes it promises to be. Well, an interesting point academic at this moment is that should Leicester get the try and conversion, both sides will be deemed level still at 12-all by the rules of this competition, which of course in the first instance judges it if the scores are level on tries and then goals from tries. And if that were to be the state of play at the end of this match, then there would be a period of extra time to be played. But that's all hypothetical, because Moseley still are 6 points ahead. Scrummage 10 metres outside the Leicester 22. And Leicester seeming to last a bit better and getting cleaner service than they did in the first half from up front, and they run it out of defence. Burwell tries to flip it on, and Paul Dodge is clear on the left. Cooper's covering. He has to check to come inside, in does Dodge. But there's Barnwell in support. There's more fire now about this Leicester effort. John Beale did the good covering tackle for Moseley. Moseley 10-metre line. Over the top for Kenny. Took it well. Supported inside by Johnson. Couldn't hang on to it. No knock on given. And Moseley break away through Astley initially. Back through the pack, 2 half-backs. Cooper's kick charged down by Cusworth. Driven on by Swain, but in touch. Malcolm Swain there, the only survivor of the final that Moseley contested in 1972. Down from Joyce. Kenny to Cusworth. Burwell. Dodge to Hare. Well set up for Newton. Cooper across the cover. Newton chips into the 22. Gifford goes down on it. The tie goes over the top, but it's flipped back for Moseley to Malcolm Swain, but it's a penalty to Leicester. And what will they do now? They're trailing by 6 points. I think the ball was obscured or obstructed, or maybe even passed off the ground by Chris Gifford. And Peter Wheeler's decided to give Dusty Hare the penalty attempt. Difficult decision, trailing by 6 points with just about 11 minutes to go. Needing a try and a conversion to get level with Moseley. But this could bring them within 3 points. And the ball rolls over to add to the tension. Dusty Hare, who has scored all Leicester's points with a drop goal to open the scoring in this match, and a penalty in the second half. Dusty Hare, so gently, but just as effective as if he'd banged it over the top of the north stand. Well, Leicester certainly have been coming back into into this game in this last quarter, indeed in this last 20 minutes or so, and perhaps that's a fairer reflection of their effort in this second half. 12-9 then the score, and it's still all to play for with 10 minutes to go. Contingent of Leicester fans who've come bombing down the motorway to Twickenham today, really giving full voice now to their support. Moseley rivaling them in the shouting match from the terraces. Free kick to Leicester. Nick Joyce. Aikenhead within 2 minds. Puts it out on the Moseley 10-metre line. Well, can Moseley lift that forward effort again, which was so superb in the first half. Not quite such the dominant force in this second period, but they have it again from the line out. Cooper now has a dash himself, is caught on the halfway line, the ball. Well, unrelenting pace and excitement this game has. And clearly it's going to last through to the bitter end. Bitter, that is, for the losers in this superbly contested match. Kenny just about on the halfway line. Cosworth, the switch. Dodge, Burwell linked it on well to Dusty Hare. Sees the cover and cuts inside it. Retrieving tackle by Swade, again by Watson-Jones on Leicester. But it's back from, I think, Azelrig. Cosworth, Burwell. Burwell over the halfway line, still going. Eludes Field, out to Newton. Newton tackled by Laird, up to the 22. And it's Moseley under the storm of pressure now. It's on the Moseley 22, this scrummage. Listen to the roar. Gifford in trouble. I think the crowd thought that was a penalty that had been indicated by referee Wellesby. That was false optimism. Just to put in at the scrummage, but that's a bonus to Leicester. On that far right-hand touchline. They're getting the push on in the scrummage. Kenny to Cosworth, to Dodge. Floats it through for Barnwell to chase, and he has pace. Barnwell, what can he do with it now? Hare inside, couldn't hang on to it. Thomas retrieves it. And this really is building up to a tremendous climax. And the ball's not coming out of that. Well, for those that were sensible enough to decide to come down and support this club final today, they will certainly have been rewarded by the display we've seen of commitment and excitement. Offside against Leicester. Just what Cooper wanted, the relieving kick. Nearer to halfway. Five and a half minutes to go. 12-9. Moseley's slender lead. And Leicester still looking in the hunt. Gifford hoists the high one. Barnwell comes in to gather it. Referee waits to see any Moseley advantage coming from the knock-on. And there's one of those typical Moseley drives that are so impressive. The players bound in together, controlling the ball, and they still have it. Eventually from Astley to Gifford. Cooper, Swain, tackled by Cusworth, gets it on to Cooper, again the tackle, that time from Dodd. Now a chance for Leicester. Newton with Barnwell up outside, late on the pass, eventually gets it to Barnwell. Down he goes from Alan Thomas. The referee decides it wasn't late, Dusty Hare racing through, and the ball in touch. Well, you can't doubt the fitness of these two sides, who've been going at it hammer and tongs from the word go. Leicester 10 metres out. We're 4 minutes from full time. 12-9 to Moseley. Ian Smith at the tail of the line-up for Leicester. Supported by his pack. It's Hazelrig and Joyce coming round. Driving now the Moseley pack back towards their line. Moseley, that is, who scored a pushover try against the might of Gosforth at Gosford. And still Leicester edging nearer. Moseley hold them up. What a contest of brute strength this is. And Moseley, I think, regrouping just in time beneath that power assault from Leicester, who now have the put-in. Kenny with the put-in, it is. Kenny goes, Kenny for the line, and Kenny over. And the crowd, the Leicester supporters go wild. They've pulled it back from the dead. And amidst this mayhem, and Leicester can hardly believe their good fortune. Let's see it again. Kenny darting there between the Moseley defenders, initially Bob Laird, and the little scrum half burying underneath the vital try in the dying minutes of this game. So Leicester ahead, 13 points to 12. Only the second time they've been ahead in this match since the 15th minute of the first half. Bitter disappointment this must be for Moseley. The conversion now attempted by Dusty Hare. And that makes it an even more bitter pill to swallow. But we have about a minute and a half of proper time to go, plus injury time to be added on. 15 points to 12. What a game this has been. Cooper restarts. Now can the brave Moseley side, who've really done so much and so well in this match, especially up front, pull it back, as Leicester have. Dusty Hare not really finding the space he wanted, finds Aikenhead instead. Drops it neatly in. Just over a minute to go. The crowd going wild still. Moseley lifting in the line-out. And through sheer relief, the Leicester supporters applaud the decision. And through the sheer want, I think, above all things, to see these last minutes out, Dusty Hare will attempt this kick at goal. Well, I say that, but of course Hare has kicked them from further distances than this before. And in this match already, 11 of those 15 points coming from the boot of Dusty Hare, to give him a personal record tally in Cup Rugby of 72 points for his club in this season. So from about 3 metres inside the Leicester half. This could seal it if it goes over. Dusty Hare hooked it, and Cooper runs it, the referee. blows for another penalty for charging the kick, I think, was given there against Gary Cox. A lot of people think that's the final whistle, but believe me, it's not. We may be into injury time, and the Leicester players ushering their over-exuberant supporters off the field. And that decision, though, still is crucial, because with the charge of the penalty, which I think was the reason for the decision, rather than not being 10 metres back, Dusty Hare has a second chance to seal this match for Leicester, with 1 minute now played of injury time. 15 points to 12. Leicester ahead at last for them. Can Dusty Hare seal it now? Will it curl enough? Off the post, but not over. And Cooper runs it. A brave last attack, perhaps this. Swain inside to Jevons. He can't hold it. Gary Adey there to drive it, and Leicester going wild. They win it back to Cusworth, tries the drop goal, one of his great specialities, of course, but Moseley have it now. Bob Laird has a go, is caught on the 22. The ball kicked on by Barnwell. Aikenhead bangs it downfield to put it out of danger and perhaps to create a Leicester error. Dusty Hare has a drop goal attempt. It's a massive attempt, but hooked. Steve King, the replacement flanker, decides it's his turn to try and pull something out of the fire. Inside to Astley. Back from Barry Eyre. What a game those second row players have had. On to Swain. The tackle by Dodds. The support by Watson-Jones. Out to Bob Laird on the left. And these players, how they keep at it, I don't know. Non-stop running from side to side in the 84th minute of this match, which is the final minute. The final whistle goes. Leicester can't believe their luck. But what a final it's been. And what a credit to both teams, as the crowd, the young boys in the crowd, swarm onto the field. The Leicester supporters to salute their heroes, who pulled back a game that looked beyond recall. Well, jubilation there for Paul Dodge, for the Leicester Tigers indeed, in an outstanding season, but, well, what commiseration one must have for Martin Cooper there, the Moseley captain, who led up until the 77th minute of this match, whose pack had played so well, but I suppose who in the last resort must wonder why they weren't further ahead with the superb possession that they'd won throughout. Well, Dusty Hare being buffeted through the crowd, but he won't mind that on a day when he scored 11 of those 15 points that saw Leicester scrape home through. Even he can afford a smile in the depths of exhaustion which these players must feel. And now the moment to complete it all for Peter Wheeler, for Leicester captain again of Leicester Tigers, who receives the John Player Cup from Stanley Couchman, the president of the Rugby Football Union. And he's waited a long time for that. Robin Carling and Gary Adey, how appropriate to see those three there together. Three great Leicester Tigers of many years, and England internationals to boot. Well, applause in turn from the Leicester players to one of the most loyal bands of supporters in club rugby in Britain. And they came here today in their thousands, and their journey was indeed rewarded. Steve Johnson and a kiss on the cup from Paul Dodge. from Les Cusworth, from Arthur Hazelrig, and indeed from Steve Redfern and Ian Smith. Mick Newton, the last to go down with the most treasured possession.